And here we go. We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be nominal.
RCPA chamber pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, Atlantis.
Water towers fly! Yes!
Tango down to nominal.
Flight downside FD off. Bring in FD off. Off. It's orange!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage.
What is it?
Put that in the big bag, Eagle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
The methane will be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. You good? Sure. We don't need any more of these.
All right, everybody. Welcome to. If you haven't had enough rocket launches for today, we have a second one for you with the Starlink 6-22 mission here from Slick 40 from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, going on here in just under 40 minutes from now. My name is Adrian Bile. I'm a host, commentator, writer for NSF, and I'm your today's host here. As we are standing by for another rocket to launch after the successful launch of the Psyche mission from Pad 39A just earlier today. And you're very happy, hopefully, for the fact that I'm not alone here. I'm joined by Alex. Alex, how you're doing today on this Falcon Day?
I'm doing fantastic because I love Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy. So it was an amazing morning, and now we're gonna have an amazing evening.
Absolutely. It's certainly a day for Falcon fans. So here we go with the second one. Also, I believe seeing his second launch today, we have in the field Mr. Max Evans. Max, do we have you on comms?
I would hope so. And good golly, Miss Molly, it has been a day. Maybe today we can actually get two off the ground in one day.
Would be absolutely fantastic. And we also have Patrick Cahoon in the background, making sure we sound and look nice here. So thank you for that, Patrick, as well. So we are standing by for another launch of Starlink internet satellites here from Slick 40. What's the number of satellites here we have, Alex? What are you looking at?
Yeah. So today's launch of a Starlink, because we had the other launch earlier today, right? It is gonna be 22 satellites. And the satellites are Starlink V2 mini satellites. That is as it is usual these days. And they're going to be launching on a Falcon 9, which is flying for a 14th time today. So if you remember, this launch is, it's sort of like a repeat, not because it is doing all the things that they have already done, but because this actually scrubbed a few days ago, last week. I think it was last week or early this week. Time is a blurry thing for me right now because we have had so many activities lately that it's quite hard. But this actually aborted last attempt due to upper level winds. So they already had tried this, and I think it aborted around T-22 seconds. That was very close to T0, and so the whole thing is just going to be the same. Again, we're going to try and see if B1067, which is the booster for today, launches again. This will be the 14th time. It launched missions such as CRS-22, Crew 3, Turksat 5b, Crew 4, CRS-25, Starlink 434, Hotbird 13G, O3b Empower, Starlink 5.2, Starlink 5.5, Starlink 5.9, Satria, and Starlink 6.10. And now it's going for Starlink 6.22, today's mission. One of the two missions, I should say. And as always, it's also going to be returning back to Earth, landing on a SpaceX drone ship, a Shortfall of Gravitas, which, since they scrub, it's being out there in the Atlantic Ocean about 629 kilometers downrange. That's a long, far away from home for those folks. So I really hope that they get that booster back on the drone ship right today, so they can come back home tonight. But yeah, you see there that's the trajectory, usual trajectory for Starlinks out of the Cape, southeast, sort of going north from Bahamas. And so that's pretty much all that is to say. Well, apart from that, we also have the ferry and recovery vessel for this mission is going to be Doug, because Bob is out there recovering the ferries for Psyche for the launch of Falcon Heavy, which went all the way to 1,500 kilometers downrange for that one. Quite amazing.
There we go. Thanks for that mission overview. I'm now throwing it to Max with the weather.
Well, I think overall today can be best described in really one word, and that is sticky. We were enjoying a very nice cold front earlier in the week and last weekend that brought a lot of cooler temperatures into the area and lower humidity, thankfully. But yesterday and today, that has unfortunately returned, and it has been disgustingly humid out today. On top of all the nasty weather we've had recently, but as for now, I'm looking at partially cloudy skies and a beautiful sunset happening behind me. So if Falcon 9 can get off the ground in time tonight, we might be in store for a nice jellyfish.
I'm also, and that would be I love the jellyfishes. So let's see if that happens. I also want to throw another question here, Max. How is it to see Falcon 9 in daylight? Because that has been such a rare sight lately.
Oh my goodness!
So how does it feel?
You know, I was actually talking to a colleague who's out here right now, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, dude! Like, we're actually at the press site when the sun's still up. It's amazing. You know, it feels really, really good. I'm not gonna lie. It's wonderful coming out here at night, but you know, good golly, as I've already said before, after a day we've already had today, it's nice to see Falcon 9 in the daylight.
There we go. So for sure, it's good, and also it's for once a European-friendly time, I might call it, because some of the late launches have been like 4 a.m. your time. It's like let's not do that. Alex, where are we in the potential countdown right now? When do we expect to see something from Falcon 9 here?
Sure. So right now, if everything holds, because you know nowadays we don't get as many updates from SpaceX as we used to get. And so right now, we don't know if they are already into propellant load, but we'll figure it out very, very soon, because if they have gone into propellant load, which starts at T-minus 35 minutes, we usually start seeing already frost on the booster around T-minus 32 minutes or thereabouts, sometimes even earlier, depending on, you know, the weather conditions. Today, it seems like it is a clear day, so maybe we have some hopes of seeing that frost real soon. If we see that, that's going to be a confirmation that they are indeed going ahead with that propellant load. In other news, I guess we haven't really seen any sort of word of any delay to this T0, to this launch time. So overall, I guess no news is good news, right? Definitely the weather looks really amazing. At least I'm not here, but I'm looking at our cameras, right? So I'm seeing that it is great. I think the forecast had 60% chances of good weather, but that was the same for Falcon Heavy, and then it went up to 85% good chances. So it is very likely that it might have happened already here. I know there was some rain before in between these two launches. That was probably not really good, but you know, it already rained. It seems like it's
I
really
believe I can see frost. Well. Yes, I believe we can confirm that they're indeed targeting the first potential T0 of this.
That's a record.
This series of T0. Yeah, that's like that's
God.
Yeah, thanks SpaceX. That's all I want to say here. But yeah, you can see it right at about 1/3 of the booster. You can see some small venting there right now, and that confirms they're indeed already into propellant loading. So the time in the top left is accurate, and we expect another Falcon 9 launch in 31 minutes and 28 seconds from now. So
but I've seen
that's good.
The funny thing is, I said we're gonna see around T-minus 32 minutes. I've seen already so many Falcon 9s that I know exactly when it's gonna pop up, like that frost. Usually at about T-minus 32 minutes. So yeah, and it happened at 32 minutes.
We have it down to pretty much a science by this point.
Yep.
Let's hit some questions here, I think, right? It's It's I have one here that might even push your spreadsheet to a limit, Alex.
Oh boy.
What's the most Falcon boosters launched in a single day? Because today they would launch 4, right? 3 on a Falcon Heavy and 1 on a Falcon 9. So is a record in terms of individual Falcon boosters?
I will have to look it up because I really have no idea. But I think they have already done 4 back in, or at least they were trying to get 4 in a day. Actually, even less than 3 hours. That was O3b Empower Mission 2 with Viasat 3. I remember we were actually live for that one. I was live with you guys for that one. And they tried first a Falcon 9, which launched successfully. And then when they went into the Falcon Heavy, it aborted, I think, after startup. So it was like quite a bummer because we're literally seconds away from the liftoff, and it aborted. So yeah, I think this will actually be the first time they actually achieve it. Hold on. I have here on my spreadsheet actually the last Falcon Heavy prior to Psyche launched within 24 hours of another Falcon 9. So this is not going to be the first time they launch 4 boosters within 24 hours. Yeah.
I had faith in your spreadsheet and I wasn't disappointed. So this is also not the first time they are launching 2. Like, this is not the shortest time between 2 SpaceX launches, right?
Oh no,
LSR
no.
is asking.
Yeah. No, it's actually about twice the length of the shortest turnaround time, or like the shortest time between any two SpaceX launches. That was Starlink Group 2-8 from Vandenberg, and then 4 hours and 12 minutes later, the launch of SES-18 and SES-19 from the Cape. I guess you might call it, maybe, I haven't really looked it up because I have the spreadsheet in front of me, but I don't have these really readily available for me, that it might be perhaps the shortest between 2 SpaceX launches from the Cape. Might be. Not fully sure. I will have to look.
I would say that sounds about right. I think the last time there were two launches on a single day here in Florida was way back in August of last year. But that was between ULA and SpaceX. It wasn't both SpaceX. So they've tried a few times to get 2 off in one day here, but they've never really gotten. Well, I guess they got pretty close one time, but they didn't pull it off. But I would say the odds are, knock on wood, I would say odds are probably in their favor tonight.
Yeah, I kind of want to unjinx this whole conversation right now and say if this all works today, because this whole conversation feels like a giant jinx we are doing right now. It's like
Falcon Heavy already flew. That's our good luck for today. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Go on with the jinxing. Well, it's gonna be. It's like it's too late for knock on wood, Max. It's over. This will now scrap at 10 seconds.
I've seen a comment in chat from Eric Fraser saying way back in August of last year, LOL. And I'm like,
I mean, it seems like eons ago with how many launches we've seen with the current cadence, but
that's probably like 100 launches ago.
Yeah, that's like 100
Actually,
Falcon 9s ago.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, that was probably 100 launches ago or something.
Yeah, it's probably close to that number. Like that's we are just throwing that around, but it's probably close to 100 Falcon 9s ago.
Remember we already are 70 this year already. So count maybe 20 or 30 from the second half of last year or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Also, just to address the elephant crane in the room, Alex, what's that crane there?
Oh boy. Well, SpaceX is building its own crew access tower at Sleek 40. And so that crane is there precisely to stack that tower. Right now, they have already 3 sections of this tower stacked. We're waiting on a 4th one that is waiting at Roberts Road. We're not sure when it's going to roll down the road to get to the launch pad. But whenever it happens, where to find it. It's going to happen on SpaceX Live.
That's my line.
Are we stealing lines right now? I will at the end say that this is my favorite view of the launch when the pad's empty, just to steal more lines. It's That's a thing today. Let's see. Alex, question here by Damien. What's the temperature of propellant on Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy? Do we know that?
Well, I believe for the kerosene, this is gonna be an embarrassment because I'm a European and I actually know the temperature for kerosene is 20 Fahrenheit, but I don't know in Celsius.
Wow.
So I have to Google it because every single place that I've read it, it's in Fahrenheit. The one for liquid oxygen though, that varies a little bit. For Falcon Heavy, it might have been around maybe minus 200 Celsius, but for Starlink, that might actually be colder because for Starlink missions, they toy with the propellants, especially with the liquid oxygen. They try to get it as cold as possible to get more performance out of the rocket. So that's a neat thing that you ask, because now people are learn more stuff about that.
Yeah, you wouldn't do envelope pushing things on a Psyche mission, I guess. NASA
Oh yeah,
wouldn't
no.
like that. Like, hey, can we try like record cold with your very high expensive mission?
Yeah,
NASA's like,
for
sure.
What
$1.2
attitude?
billion spacecraft.
Yeah, it's like totally no problem at all. So we'll see. I also want to thank some people here who supported us here and enable us to do all of this, because there's been some generous support here already. Kenra Decker becoming a Pat Red member, thank you so much. Glassback becoming a launch director. So that's a very high tier of support. Thank you for that. Carrie Rencher with a $2 super chat saying, "Well, I hope this is a good launch." I agree with that statement. I want a good launch and a launch. Corey Turnbull becoming a Patrat member. I'm also sorry for butchering all of your names. This is basically the perk you get when I'm host here. RC Horseman gifting 1 Red Team membership. Thank you so much for that. Musical Wolves with a $2 super chat. Are these Starlink psyched to launch today too?
I
We will
don't
just
think fun tokens are transferable to our audience.
Yeah, I think we will just subtract that pan token from Sawyer's account. I think
I would second that.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Stefan Batiste with a sexy Euro super chat. Let's use Falcon 9 launches to make some whoppers. So that's like a good question. Like, where would you need to place the burger bun so it becomes well done during the launch? But I'm not sure. Like, there's also some soot generation from Falcon 9, so that probably wouldn't be a good idea to eat. So yeah, but it would be fun, like a rocket smoked burger. Would you eat that, guys?
I don't think so.
It
Max, are you daring
depends
today?
on it. I'm daring every day, Adrian. What are you talking about? I guess it depends on what the fuel of the rocket was, because if it was kerosene or solids, that obviously would not be very tasty. But if you're using hydrogen to cook it, that might not be so bad.
Yeah, hydrogen or methane should be about fine, right? I think like the worst, of course, would be
methane.
SRBs.
Maybe not methane. Just but hydrogen might be okay.
Yeah, not SRBs for sure. I wouldn't eat SRB beef. SR beef?
SRB beef.
SRB beef. It's getting there.
Okay.
It's a working product. Flip and burn burgers. Yeah. I just saw
we
that.
read it at the same time.
And if you couldn't finish your food, just toss it on the tanks and it'll freeze solid and save it for later.
Oh yeah, it's like basically a cheap freezer.
It's a double-edged sword. Is what it is.
Yeah, it's but you don't want to like shock heat your.
Okay,
meat,
enough with the food. I'm getting hungry.
Either
Come
way.
on.
Yeah. Carnegie with a $5 super chat. Wait, a Starlink launch at a reasonable time? What is this? Yeah, I agree. Yes.
I love how the overall mood for tonight is, oh my god, they're trying to fly a Falcon 9 when there's still daylight outside. Like, that's been the theme, like, in chat and especially in our back channel tonight. It's like, oh my god, they're actually doing this tonight, hopefully.
Yes, I feel like...
Oh, go ahead.
It's like the return of the Europeans, especially. Like, all of these Europeans who have not seen a Starlink launch for, like, ages at this point are like, oh, they're still launching Starlink?
Welcome back.
I really hope it sticks with Starlink 623, which is the next mission out of the Cape. because that one is currently scheduled to occur on. So the window opens at 4:49 p.m. Eastern on October 17th. So that will be before 5 p.m. Like, can you imagine?
Yeah, like
This is
that's not even cutting into your sleep schedule. That's crazy. Alex,
Yeah.
there's a big event coming up soon. What's the event we are now expecting in a bit?
Yeah, I know about that vent. I like it. It is the T-minus 20-minute vent, and that's gonna be part of the whole process of preparing the Stromback to load liquid oxygen on the second stage. Let's see if it comes up. It should be 3 seconds away. Maybe the crane hides it or something, but we'll see if it pops up. There we go.
There she blows.
Right on
There she
cue.
blows.
That's good. That's good. We want to see good signs, and I like good signs.
And-
So here we are.
And that vent basically chills down and purges the line for the liquid oxygen to go into the second stage. So it takes about 4 minutes or so for this vent, for that process to chill down that pipe and be able to load later the liquid oxygen. We should be at about T-minus 16.5 minutes from liftoff.
So there we go. So everything progressing well. It's like the summary here, right? Everything going good.
It's all trending in the right direction, as we like to say.
That's good. Although there's the whole thing with Falcon 9, right? It has to go everything in the right direction at the right moment because there's no hold. No hold means drop. So we'll see how this is going.
You said the forbidden S word, Adrian. How could you?
Well, can I be the bearer of bad news? I mean, it's bad and good news, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Technically, they could hold this one because it's the first T0. They have a 4-hour window. And in 4 hours, they can actually, I think up to 2 times, they can load the tank and reload the
Let's quickly
rocket
move
again.
topic. The rocket will
Yeah,
hear.
So, yeah, let's
not go there
jinx
right
it
now.
because it can actually hold. And so...
I want to point out that Mr. Patrick Cahoon right now forced a question on me in the question queue to ask me, and he asked, "What's your favorite Starlink set?" Which I have to say I don't have a favorite. I know Alex has a list of like every Starlink set. I don't have a
It's
favorite.
Jonathan McDowell. He has the all ideas and everything. He's a pro at this. He's the orbital police after all.
True, he is the orbital police. So yeah, I don't have a favorite number as a Starlink set. I have to say. So it's probably cannot answer this, but you can pick your favorite number. And see if there's a Starlink set. Please don't please look at the list and don't tweet people with like, is this Starlink set still existing? That would annoy people.
Just use a random generator number or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like just use something like that. Well, let's see here. Another question is here. What are the blinking lights there? Max, what are the blinking lights?
See, I can't tell if this is a trick question or if this is a legit question, so I will give both answers. So the first one would be yes. And the second one is, of course, those are the 4 lightning arrest towers, and those are basically protecting the launch complex from any lightning strikes. Each tower has a series of lines running from the top strike points all the way down to the ground to take the charge away from the rocket. And because, of course, if you have a lightning strike on a rocket, whether it be Falcon 9, Atlas 5, Space Shuttle even, there's our Space Shuttle reference for tonight, potentially. If you had a lightning strike on a fully fueled rocket, or even a partially fueled rocket, it would just lead to all kinds of problems and it would be a bad day for a lot of people.
That's true. Also, well, like somebody pointed out here, it's Friday the 13th, and we are trying so hard to jinx this launch. It's like it's almost.
I was just going to say, it sounds like we're trying to jinx this right now.
I mean, at some point you have to spice it up, right? So
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like it's almost like we have a stick and we're poking Falcon 9. It's like, okay, come on, do something. Do something.
Alan here's asking, does the 43-degree orbit mean this will launch to the northeast or southeast? Alex?
Well, that's a great question. Actually, what it means is that the inclination of the orbital plane of this target orbit is going to be 43 degrees of difference with the plane of the equator. But you can actually get that launching northeast or southeast. So originally, when they started launching these satellites with the V1.0 version and the 1.5 version satellites, at least at first, they were launching northeast. But they figured out that launching southeast both is better for the weather downrange because it's near the Bahamas, and so it's really good in the sense of like the weather and everything all year across. And also, there's an added bonus from there, which is you don't have to launch over the airspace corridors that go into Orlando, which come from the north. Because if you're coming from the northeast of the United States, from New York or something like that, then you need to go from the north. And so if you launch these Starlinks every 3 days to the north, there's going to be a lot of people complaining about it because you're going to divert a lot of flights around that part of Florida. So launching to the southeast is very convenient because you don't also, you don't mess with a lot of the airspace around Central Florida.
I want to hit some very generous support here. First, I want to start with Jim Cavett celebrating 34 months of being a launch director.
Wow,
that's
Holy
a long
moly!
time.
do they have
It's long?
the Mars thing? Because we have these icons.
Yeah,
of
the
when-
icons.
Yeah.
I think that's Mars. Like that's long. Thank you so much for that. That's so much generous. And also, I want to thank Richard Cochrane with 20 pounds here, saying good luck with the mission. And I mean, good luck to SpaceX with that. And then we have Byteford with a $50 super chat here, saying, so happy you are all on tonight, or is it very late night for you both? Thanks, Max, for filming. No jinx. It's about we are approaching 1 a.m. here, Alex and me.
Yeah, but at least it's not 5 a.m.
For once,
Yeah, 1 a.m. is-
it's actually a reasonable hour for us over here on the Space Coast, and not like 11 a.m. or 2 a.m.
Yeah, it's everybody likes this. Like Alex and I are not known for a very well balanced sleep schedule, so this is very much in our territory. Another question here we get from David Anderson. I know you hinted at it before, Max, but I will still throw this to you again. What are the chances of a jellyfish?
If conditions are right tonight and the skies remain a little bit clearer than they are now, because we have some clouds coming in, very high, because we are launching a few minutes after sunset, and Falcon 9 will be ascending back into the sunlight. So I would say the chances are very high.
There we go. That's we are in for a treat if that happens. I love some jellyfish. Who doesn't love some jellyfish?
We could use some Starlink eye candy right now, honestly.
I mean, if you don't like a jellyfish, what's wrong with you?
What's the matter with
No
you?
offense. Yeah, like it's cool. It's the coolest thing. It looks so amazing. Let's see. Mr. VBT is asking, is there any launches during tomorrow's solar eclipse? Alex, are we expecting any launches during tomorrow's solar eclipse? Talking while muted.
Sorry, I was muted.
I know.
Yes. I reply. I basically answer really quickly. Yeah, we don't have any launches tomorrow during the eclipse. We have one late tomorrow night, but it's from China and it's not from the US.
Yep.
So it's not really. You can see if there's any launches. If you watch This Week in Spaceflight, you will be able to know about that.
There we go.
Bit
And
of a
also,
plug there.
I want to point out two things. A, if Psyche would have delayed till tomorrow, that would have been kinda during the eclipse, although the Cape is not really in the big influence sphere of the eclipse. It's getting, I think, a partial coverage, right? But not really like anything big.
We should be getting around 55% coverage here, I think. So it would have been close. It would have been close.
Yep.
I do know that at least a lot of photographers will try to have gotten, like, if that had been a thing, I could probably have imagine some photographers going out there and try to get the angle for it.
Oh, absolutely. And I was kind of hoping, I hate to, be the omen of just bad juju, but I was really hoping that it wouldn't fly today, so that it would fly either tomorrow or Sunday, not only for better weather, but the chance of flying during a partial eclipse. So, which I don't think has happened before, and that would have been really, really neat to cover and grab an image of. So, alas, it flew today, so that is always good news.
There we go. Also, I want to point out quickly, we will cover the solar eclipse tomorrow. So there's already a stream scheduled for that. So if you don't miss that, we will have some coverage for that. Look forward to that. We'll do our best to. We are basically wanted to capture it from Boca a lot, because Boca is very much in the path of this. Also, I want to quickly add that SpaceX a bit ago confirmed that propellant load is ongoing for this, and all systems and weather are currently go for launch. So
Things you like to hear.
Yes, we like good weather. Good weather is good. By definition, it's in the name, kind of. Let's see. Can Falcon 9 carry supplies to Starship for Mars or no? Asking about Falcon. Basically, I think the question is, could you use the Falcon 9 to resupply a Starship in orbit to send it to Mars then? But I think the answer is you would just use another Starship then, right? Because if Starship works, why would you use Falcon 9 to do that? That's my thinking.
It kind of makes sense, but it also it really depends on what the upmass target you are trying to bring up is, and also where in what orbit Starship is in, whether it's in Leo or maybe some different or in orbit of a different inclination or different altitude. There are a lot of factors to consider for that question, but I guess strictly for hypothetical purposes, I think it's worth saying maybe. But at that point, if they had the upmass demand for Starship, I guess they might consider Falcon Heavy at that point too, because it can carry a ton more.
Yep, not only a ton, but a few tons even. Okay. Sorry.
Multiple tons.
But yeah, we are just we are already less than 10 minutes away from this launching. Max, quick check in here with the weather. Anything changing? Anything you'll look out right now, like high winds or something, that would worry you?
Minus the somewhat stagnant and sticky air that we have currently here over at the Kennedy Space Center, a lot of pretty colors out right now because the sun is going down, and it should be going down here actually in a couple of minutes. So we have a very, very pretty sunset happening around us, and the weather looks great. So pending nothing going wrong with Falcon 9 itself, it looks like we may have a launch while there's still some light in the sky. How about that?
There we go. Alex, what's the current status for Falcon 9? What's the rocket going through right now?
Yeah, so right now they are wrapping up kerosene load onto the first stage, as well as preparing for the engine chill on the 9 Merlin 1, the engines on the first stage as well. This is basically, as I usually mention, is that there are bits of the engine that need to flow, that need to get cold stuff in them, basically liquid oxygen, right? And so when you flow liquid oxygen through something that is just basically at room temperature or like more ambient temperature, better said, is that what you get is that liquid oxygen will instantly vaporize and form bubbles and cavities on your fluid as it is pumped through the pumps of the engine. And so you can break the engine by doing that. You can break the pumps. You can do a lot of damage if you do that. Instead, what they do is to prepare and condition the engine. Those bits that are going to get cold, they actually get them already cold before flowing that liquid oxygen at high flows and high pressures. So they do that engine chill that is basically flowing a little bit of that liquid oxygen through, just a little bit, and letting it, basically condition it and cool it down to the appropriate temperatures. And so right now they're probably already wrapping up that kerosene load on the first stage. And so the next thing that we should actually see with our eyes, I hope, is the strong back retract that should come up in about 2 minutes. and then we're gonna see those vapors coming out from the Stromberg about 2 minutes later as they wrap up liquid oxygen load on both the first and second stages. So yep, just the final few minutes here on the countdown.
I have another question here for your spreadsheet, Alex. Is this the first time, Steven is asking, is this the first time that SpaceX launches on a Friday the 13th?
Oh boy, I can tell you whether it is. You're gonna you're gonna call me a freak or something, but it is actually the second time they launch on October 13th. But I wouldn't be able to tell you if they actually launched on a Friday 13th prior to this. I know they launched on 13th of a month about 4 times prior. January 13th, June 13th, and then November and December 13th. So yeah, this will be the first time they launch on October 13th with a Falcon 9. It will be the second overall.
There we go.
I do have a spreadsheet for that stuff.
I just wanted to see. I'm basically at this point just looking at how further I can go into these questions, and still
I do not.
get like.
Yeah, I do not know which ones of those 4 13th of the month were on Friday, so I cannot get you that. But maybe after the fact, I could probably check it out.
Want to have a quick gotcha answer here? It's definitely not the first time that that they launched on a Friday the 13th, because they launched earlier today.
I mean,
So
yes.
there we go. And just a quick one here. I think this is the moment where I have to say goodbye and see you on the other side, Max, because you step away now for tracking for us, right?
Why is everyone taking my lines today? I see you on the other side is my line. But yes, it is that time. So we are getting closer here. Falcon 9, and I will see you gentlemen on the other side.
Hey, stealing my line. No, see ya there, Max. Music Duck here asking in a €11 super chat, is there some sort of a board system in the Starlink launch configuration? So, like in a case where they need to abort, they would just abort the countdown, right, Alex?
Well, during the countdown, yes, they can abort the countdown as as they proceed into the T0. We actually saw that last week with the first attempt of this mission, where they had an abort, but thankfully, and knock on wood, there's no aborts. After the launch, though, there are no aborts for Starlink and for any payload. For crew missions, there is.
Yep. The only abort is a abort to many pieces, which is the activation of the FTS.
Exactly.
Which is it's a kind of a board, right? It's a board of the whole mission forever. So there we go. We are just under 3 minutes from now. Away from launch. Falcon 9 at this point is wrapping up fueling, getting ready to launch, pressurizing the tanks. So they're in the final steps here. We expect one more big event, right, Alex?
Yeah, so right now they have already wrapped up liquid oxygen load on the first stage. So the first stage is already fully loaded. The second stage is still a bit to go with the liquid oxygen, about a minute more there. And then it's going to wrap up. We're going to see big vents from the Stromberg as they drain back the remaining liquid oxygen that there exists on the line to the second stage. And also they prepare for turning over the control of the countdown from the ground systems to the vehicle systems. That's going to happen at T-1 minute with the startup call, and then the next event won't be until T-3 seconds, where we're going to see those engines igniting, and then hopefully a liftoff.
There we go. We are just under 2 minutes from now. Let's hope for some jellyfish here. That's the hope. A quick question here from Altair about the earlier launch today. Is there any update on the Psyche satellite as of now, Alex?
Other than it is going well so far, it deployed and everything, it's going good, basically. But other than that, we haven't heard anything else. And Falcon 9 is now fully loaded with propellants. I've heard the call out, and you can see that vent coming out from the Stromberg, indicating the basically that closeout of all of the umbilical lines.
Yep. And the next
Superb
up will
is-
be the Falcon 9 going into startup, which happens at the last minute. So about 7 seconds from now, Falcon 9 will be in startup. And then the final step we expect is the launch director to verifying go for launch, which will be about 35 seconds or so before liftoff, right? So that's the final step to clear this rocket for launch. We're really in a crunch time here, so let's see if Falcon 9 makes it. The first thing we will see is the usually we might see a bit of a deluge there, but the main thing we will see is probably a green flash and then the engines lighting up before
Yeah,
launch.
go for
So
launch.
there we go. So 30 seconds from now, we will see this Falcon 9 hopefully taking flight and delivering more internet satellites for their LEO internet satellite constellation Starlink in the 6-22 mission. Again, we are now in the final 10 seconds. Watch for the deluge system to go on, and then for the green flash of T-Tap using to ignite the 9 Merlin engines below this Falcon 9. Any second now, there's the green flash, there's engine ignition, and we have liftoff of Starlink 6-22 carrying internet satellites to your LEO. Watch for the sound hitting our cameras. I think you could really hear the VAB there, right? That was fascinating. And yes, chat, I was very aware the moment I said it that I said watch for the sound. Thanks for everybody in chat, including I think Chris B, reminding me that I said that. I'm sorry. Anyway, the rocket is already passing through max Q. And next up will be Miko, which is main engine cutoff, where the 9 Merlin engines will shut down and leave the rest of the work to the 1 Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage of Falcon 9, as the booster will return to... Which drone ship was it again?
Shortfall of Gravitas.
There we go. So let's see where this goes from here on out. But I think we heard some nice VAB sounds there as the sound hit the VAB.
We're saying listen for staging.
Yeah, we are now listening for staging, guys. This will never leave me. But I'm fine with that, chat. As long as you're having fun, we are fine. There we go. That's Miko, main engine cutoff, as you can hear. And now we have the ignition of the MVAC, as they're making the booster a bit toasty.
It's so weird seeing this in daylight.
Yep. What a weird sentence, by the way. Yeah, now people saying smell those pharynx. Ah. Yeah, I love your chat. I love your chat. Anyway, the booster's now returning. You can see them. Not returning. I shouldn't It's going somewhere else. And there's also the fairing deployed, and you can see the beautiful Starlinks there, now exposed to the vacuum of space. As the fairings they're also getting reused, I would imagine, at this point, right?
Yeah, we don't really know because, they don't really talk a lot about fairings and things like that from SpaceX. But definitely, for sure, they're probably reused. One of the things that what are they telling you now, Adrian? Because
They're now
I'm hearing you
telling me to
giggle.
smell the exhaust.
No, that's not good. Don't do that.
Don't smell the exhaust.
It's for your health. Don't do that. Yeah. So going back on track, I was gonna say that I really loved the ascent portion of this flight because finally it was in daylight, but also we had those bright orange colors from the exhaust, which was amazing. And yes, don't smell the exhaust, please, because that's bad for your health.
Yes. I'm glad everybody's having fun. I'm enjoying this stream. This is my the rocket has not called me yet. Yeah. This is my new favorite thing. But as of now, everything looks to be very good here. Don't worry about that. That's just ice and the thrusters firing. Don't worry about these bright things on the left. That's everything is normal and looking good so far.
Yeah, right now,
But-
the cool thing here is that now the booster is coming down to darkness because the landing zone is in darkness. So we having that sunlight from the left hitting the booster, the darkness on the right, and it's gonna go straight down to the darkness.
Yep. As of now, everything smells good here as they are preparing for re-entry and then landing on a shortfall of Gravitas. How long is this? Oh yeah, I see it on timeline. Seco is just after landing. So we will see how this goes now. Beautiful view out of that's out of the interstage, right? That's the interstage of the booster we see on the left. That's so cool, always.
Already the central pusher has already been retracted by now. So it pushes out the MBAG engine, but it then retracts as well.
Do they engine chill before the entry burn, by the way?
Yes.
That's I can just ask Alex questions.
Actually,
this is basically
some of the obviously some of the pulses are from the RCS thrusters, but others are from the engines being chilled, and so they have their own vents, similar to how we see that on Starship, for example. And so that's what you see coming out from the bottom as well.
as
It should be
we
coming up
now
really soon on that entry burn.
yeah, we will see entry burn now any second from now. You can see the grid fins moving there a bit. And there's the entry burn igniting and slowing down the booster more so it doesn't get destroyed by the re-entry forces. And as this is running, Max, do we have you back on comms?
Oh my goodness gracious. That I tell you what, there is an absolutely stunning cotton candy sky behind me right now, but oh
How
my
did it
goodness, that
taste?
was delicious. Delicious Starlink candy, I'm telling you. But no, that
Look at
was that was wonderfully beautiful. A cloud came in right in front of us, so unfortunately we can't see the jellyfish or the rest of the flight. But oh my goodness gracious, that was absolutely stunning.
Absolutely. And now the booster's in the dark.
Yep.
That's the cool thing about this. The booster's completely in the dark now. And again, losing comm signal here, that's normal. That's during the spicy part of the re-entry, I could say. And as we are getting ready here for hopefully a landing on a Shortfall of Gravitas in just a few seconds from now, this mission is very much approaching its final steps here.
I
next
can
thing
see the light of the drone ship right now on the left.
yeah.
When
could
the signal
see it
works,
from, like,
obviously.
Yeah, there it is. That's a drone
There
ship.
we go.
That's so cool to see.
And it's a view from like 8 or 10 kilometers high up. So
That's
Can be
really
seen.
cool.
literally for miles.
Chat has still not calmed down about the whole watch out for the sound thing. I see you guys. I see you all. I'm reading it.
I guess it's okay. I'm gonna get this pun later.
Yeah, like let's wait for this landing to
Yes,
be
because I don't
conducted.
want to jinx it.
Yeah, there's the ignition of the landing burn as we lost connection to the booster, but there was good. And there's the deck of a Shortfall of Gravitas. As you can see, the booster coming in, looking good, and legs deployed, and touchdown.
Man,
Level up for this booster.
what did you say? What did you say? What did you say?
Level up.
No, before that.
Touchdown?
Touchdown? Yes.
Oh my
Anyway.
god. It's a heartstream for me. Okay. There we go. Wonderful, beautiful mission so far, and wow, look at that. That's some great views. I love that. The Cape is beautiful when it doesn't rain.
Oh my god.
Or it's night.
You can say that again. Can confirm.
It's like that's like an advertisement for Florida right now. There, it's like
You know,
look at
it's
this.
so funny. It's so funny because we have a one and only Mr. Ryan Caton in town for a few days, for Psyche actually. And between him and Mr. Chris Bergen, I love you, but I'm going to bash you here for a second. They love to just poke fun at Florida for, oh my god, advertising brochures are inaccurate. It's always cloudy and raining, but you know, you see something like this and you understand why. This is just it's absolutely wonderful here. This is just an absolutely A1 prime example.
Yeah, if we remove the sort of one every year or one every 2 year hurricane, definitely today is sort of like the ideal Florida day where you go in, you see a Falcon Heavy launch, 2 boosters landing back on land, and then in the evening before you go back to bed, you have another Falcon 9 launch just to, you know, put a bow on the whole thing.
Speaking of, I want to thank some more people here because we got some very generous support here. Anthony with a €5.99 super chat saying, has a mission ever failed because of the failure of fairing separation?
Oh boy.
Not SpaceX, but I think Astra?
Astra, I've known at least one ISRO mission from the Indian agency. I think there were a few of like when they were launching Minotaur or something like that. Yeah, there's been a few out there. So yeah, and back in the day, there was this one with an Agena upper stage or something, and it had the fairing still attached, and so it was like a gator or something. I don't know.
There we go. Thanks to Alex. Fire Alarm Man with a $5 super chat. I hope the launch go well. The launch did go well. Huan with 10 Red Team memberships gifted. Thank you so much for that. And everybody who receives that, I hope you thanked for that. Paragon with a 21-month Launch Director membership milestone, saying, dang, I'm up to 21 months of Launch Director already as well. Thanks for the great content, sweeties. Thanks for being with us so long. That's a really long time, so thanks for supporting us so long. Jim Cavett also with a $5 super chat here. Spooky movie night Friday the 13th. Yeah, I won't watch a movie today. It's spooky night without movie. Apocalypse Cow with a gifted 10 Red Team memberships. Trent Thompson celebrates 20 months of Capcom memberships. Thank you for that. Connor G with a $5 super chat. After looking at my spreadsheet and Googling past calendars, Starlink 413 launched on a Friday, the 13th of May 2022. So apparently there was one other Friday the 13th launch of SpaceX. James Atkinson with a 25-month Launch Director membership. That's so generous of you. Thanks, he says, thanks, NASA Spaceflight. Texture of the stream has been perfect. The texture of... Yeah, okay. At this point, I surrender. Space Nerd 67 with a $5 super chat. I love you guys. Keep up the awesome work. Thank you for that. And with that, I want to thank my brilliant co-hosts for today because I really enjoyed this. This was fun. This was really fun to do. So, Alex, thanks for being my brilliant co-host here today.
It was a pleasure, as always.
And also, I want to thank Max Evans for being out in the field and providing amazing commentary.
You know, it's been an absolute pleasure having everyone along for this one. It's been quite the day in the office, and we couldn't be more grateful for everyone who decided to come with us tonight.
And I also want to thank Patrick Cahoon behind the scenes, making sure we look good and nice and everything, and also trying to keep us on track from time to time. Thank you for that, Patrick. and I am Adrian Bile. I'm a host here for today's stream, and I enjoyed this again very, very much. Thanks for being so active today in chat. It's always the best streams when we get a lot of questions and we got a lot of interactions, because that makes it fun. Like having fun with you all and enjoying rockets with you all. That's really what we want to do here. And with that, I'm throwing it over to our outro for the time for today, and I hope we will see you all tomorrow for the Eclipse stream and for the next Falcon 9 stream or whatever happens in the next few days. See y'all.
And here we go.
We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be nominal.
RS-68 chamber pressure looks good.
Doubling up. Roger, Atlantis.
Water towers, fly! Yes! Tango down to nominal.
Flight downside speed off. Bring in SPD off. Off. It's orange!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Décollage.
What is it?
Put that in the big bag, Jingle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
Methane would be igniting in the flare, correct?